Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Tonight we're doing Solving with Substitution Part 2. I had a couple people ask me about what do you do in certain situations. So I have three equations here and we're just going to go through them. So, let's see. For equation number 1, we're going to have y equals negative 3x plus 5. And then I have 5x minus 4y equals a negative 3. This one is really nice. I like this one. It already gave us our y. So all I have to do is take all of this stuff and put it into my second equation. Okay, so when we do that, we get 5x minus 4. And then I'm going to take out that y, put in the negative 3x plus 5. And then I'm going to break down the equals and the negative 3. Let me make that look nicer. That was just really not nice. And that negative 3. Okay? From here, remember we have to distribute. So I need to share this right here. And it's really a negative 4, so be careful. So I'm going to bring down that 5x. And then negative 4 times negative 3x. Well, negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12. Because remember, negative times a negative is a positive. Then we're going to do negative 4 times that 5. And we're going to get a negative 20. So I'm writing it as a minus 20. You could also write it as a plus negative 20, your choice. And then I'm going to bring down the equal sign and bring down that negative 3. From here we combine like terms. 5 plus 12 is 17x, because remember, x's cannot be combined with non-x's. What I always use and try and tell people, if you've ever tried chocolate sauce on steamed broccoli, doesn't tend to taste so good, we're not going to do that here either. And now we have minus 20 equals a negative 3. Okay? And I know you guys are really good with this part. How do we get x by itself? So if I'm covering this up, I need to look at this part. So it's that minus 20. The opposite of a minus 20 is adding 20. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. These cancel. We are left with 17x equals 17. Now we're going to divide by 17 on both sides. X equals 1. Okay, so that was, kind of our nice one. Now I'm going to go back up to the top, and where it says y equals negative 3x plus 5, since they're already telling me this is your y. Hello, this is your y. It's over here. Come here, come here, come here. I'm going to use that. It's screaming out. So we're going to say y equals negative 3x plus 5. But we're solving for y. But that's okay, because down here we already solved for our x. So remember, it becomes y equals negative 3. Take out the x, put in that 1 plus 5. And we get y equals negative 3 plus 5. And now all we have to do is go back to like our basic integer stuff. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. So the solution to this is 1, 2. Okay, this is a nice one. Let's start making it a little bit harder, okay? So we're going to go to our second equation. And it's going to be x plus 3y equals 1, and negative 3x minus 3y equals a negative 15. So since we're using substitution, I know you guys are looking at this going, but we can cancel things. We can, but we're dealing with substitution right now. We have to figure out what we can solve for. What I tend to do, and I like to do, I look for that single variable. So for example, right here is a y. That's nice, but there's a 3 attached to it. This x has a negative 3, this y has a negative 3, so I don't want that. I want this one, because already by itself, it means I don't have to do any real extra steps. So x plus 3y equals 1. So I'm going to subtract 3y, because it's the opposite, because right now it's a positive. And then we have x equals negative 3y plus 1. So just so I remember this, I'm going to highlight. Remember, guys, what we tend to do is we really like the x's and y's to hug the equal sign. So this is why I tend to keep it that way. So now I'm going to take that, and remember it's an x equals this time, and I'm going to plug it in for x. Okay, so we're going to have negative 3 parentheses negative 3y plus 1 minus 3y equals a negative 15. Do not forget you need to bring these down. Okay, a lot of times what happens is that you guys think that, okay, we've replaced the x, good, we don't have to do anything else. We have to remember that we also have to bring everything else down. So distributing, negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9y. Negative 3 times a positive 1 is a negative 3y. I'm writing it as a minus 3 because it's the same thing. And then I just need to bring everything down. So I'm going to bring down that minus 3y, bring down the equal sign, and bring down that negative 15. Okay. You guys let me think that this was a 3y. I know, mistake board. So that's really a minus 3. I'm so sorry. I know. Because remember, negative 3 times 1 is a 3. Negative 3, not a y. So now I'm going to go for my like terms. 9 minus 3y is going to give us a 6y. I'm going to bring down that minus 3 equals negative 15. Let me just move this up so we can see it again. Okay, you guys know what to do. Add 3 to both sides. And whenever I say both sides, remember that means both sides of the equal sign. 6y equals negative 12. Divide by 6. Y equals negative 2. Okay, so again, it's that, lazy point it this way. I'm going to go back up to this one. So I have x equals negative 3y plus 1. And then we're going to take out the y, because we know what it is. We're going to put in a negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 plus 1. X equals 6 plus 1, and x equals 7. Okay, so that means our solution to this would be 7 and negative 2. And if you wanted to try this by elimination or by graphing to see what would happen, you would get the same exact answer. Okay, last one. And this is kind of more towards the ones that people were asking about. So, third question. Negative 2x minus y equals a negative 9. 5x minus 2y equals 18. Okay, so again, I'm going to look and try and see, is there anything that kind of stands out for me that I could possibly go, yeah, I think this one would work? Or are they all kind of, with something? Technically, this one, in a way, is by itself. We're going to have to take care of the negative, but that's going to be easy compared to trying to take care of a negative 2 or a 5. It'll be a lot easier this way. So we're just going to use this one. Okay. And so it's going to be negative 2x minus y equals negative 9. So when you're told to get y by itself, that just means keep y where it is, move everything else. So right now we've got this. If you actually, like on your screen, if you covered that up, what you'll see is that negative 2x. The opposite of a negative 2x is a positive 2x. So we're going to add 2x. And again, both sides means both sides of the equal sign. And then when we bring this down, it's still a negative y. Be very careful. A lot of times people will drop that negative, and then you're like, oh, it's just a y, I don't have to do anything else. Not true. That negative stays with it. So it's 2x minus 9 or plus negative 9. And there's that invisible 1 right here. So that's how we get rid of that negative. You don't have to do that when it's a positive, but when it's a negative, we do. So dividing by -1, and that means everything. These cancel, and we're left with y. And we have a -2x, and we have a plus 9. Okay, so I'm going to use this wonderful equation to help me out. So I'm going to replace y in this part with what we have. So it's going to be, let me move this up so we can see it better. Thank you. 5x minus 2. So when we distribute, be careful because we're going to be distributing, multiplying everything by that -2. So it's going to be a -2x plus 9, bring down the equal sign, bring down the 18. So I'm going to bring down the 5x again, which is fine. And now I'm going to look at distributing this. So -2 times -2x is a positive 4x. -2 times a positive 9 minus 18 equals 18. Okay? Combining like terms, we get 9x minus 18 equals 18. And then again, we're getting that by itself. So if you want to, if you hold your finger over your screen and cover up that 9x, we have that minus 18. We have to get rid of it. To get rid of it, to move it to the other side of the equal sign, we do the opposite. So we're going to add 18 to both sides. (9x) equals 36, dividing by 9, and x equals 4. Okay, and remember how we already had this nice lovely thing that told us what y is? So I'm going to take out the x value, put in that 4 that we found. So it's y equals -2 times 4 plus 9. So one of the reasons I want to tell you that when we take out the x and we put in that 4, we're multiplying because there's not an addition or subtraction sign in between. So when they're kind of squished together, kind of like how peeps are all squished into a box, that means they're multiplied together. So we're squishing them. So y equals -8 plus 9, and y equals 1. So then our answer, because remember it always goes x and y, is going to be 4, 1. So those of you who had the questions about the negatives and some of the other ones, I hope this helps. Again, leave me comments. I'm trying to be really good about checking those and replying to you guys. Other than that, have a good night.